Hey, what's up guys? It's your boy, Kitsune here, but instead of some shit memes today, I've got some sick tech analysis, information, stuff, things, maybe. I have no idea. How about we just jump into it? So I'm not the largest JRPG fan. I'm sorry, man, if you're gonna give me a script to read, you gotta make it somewhat realistic, so just this once, I'll rewrite it for you. Give me a second. So I'm a fairly large JRPG fan, and honestly, World of Final Fantasy was one of my favorite games from 2016. I know, he's just gonna compare it to Pokemon, but like, is that really such a bad thing to do? The battle tutorial at the beginning of the game brought me back to my Pokemon XD days, and when you turn the voice acting off, it just made it all that more nostalgic. When I experimented with the active time battle and the stacking system, it honestly brought a whole new level into battles in general, and it was just really fun. And I know the story's kind of lackluster because it only services Rain and Lan's traveling around the world, but the guests that you meet throughout that story made it just that much more enjoyable. Now that Maxima has been made available on all platforms, well, except for Vita, dead console, am I right, boys? I just wanted to take a look at the Switch and Vita versions, kind of stack them against the PS4 version to make the call.
Calling all World of Final Fantasy players. Cornelia is under siege from the Federation, and both Rain and Lan need to liberate the city. To pull this off, they're going to need the best Mirajoules and new coming champions now at their disposal. So to help them, all they need is your IP address, WPA key, and your council's MAC address. You'll also have to hand in all your Mirages to Seraphi for safekeeping. But be quick, or else Grimoire will be covered in darkness and the world's fate is in your hands. Epic Giants, we are counting on you.
Was that? Oh my god. Okay, this is getting really serious. I've got to crack down and bring you the knowledge that you need to know about what platform you might play these games on. First off, the resolution. Even I know this stuff. This is the Vita, the younger brother console, and this is the Switch, the older sister console. Oh, right, the few minutes older console. With the UI at native resolution on all platforms, World of Final Fantasy on Nintendo Switch has an internal resolution of 900p in docked mode, and 1024x576 in handheld mode. 80% of handheld mode's native resolution. On Vita, it runs default at 640x384 with no anti-aliasing, or a meager 47% of 544p. Of course, we can't forget that a resolution hack can be applied to the game if your Vita is on firmware 3.6 to 3.68, so it is possible to run the game at a full-fledged 960x544, a staggering 121% increase in pixel count. And fortunately, we can use Lolicon to... Why is it called Lolicon? Whatever. To increase the CPU and GPU speeds by 50% and 33% respectively, to save it from an otherwise death sentence in frame rates. Unless otherwise stated, 544p will be used to compare the game to the Switch version, but working our way down, comparing the Switch and PS4, both versions are extremely similar. However, in addition to being a full 1080p, the PS4 version also has ambient occlusion that the Switch does not. The shadow resolution on distant shadow cascades appear to be higher resolution too. Now, the Switch's portable and docked graphical settings are identical, so I'll move on to comparing the Vita and Switch. The most evident things the Vita version is missing are the depth of field and bloom, but it also comes with lower texture and overall shadow resolution compared to the Switch version. In fact, there are many places where baked shadows are removed. Rain and Lan also no longer have shadows projected onto them. Detail is removed, but the image on Vita is overall clear when rendering at a full 544p. The Switch version, however, had a few bugs that I came across. There were issues where the cannons and Serenia docks occasionally would be missing accompanying sound effects, transparencies layered incorrectly when mirages were ready to be prismed, and character pop-in with camera cuts. I know the pop-in occurs on PS4 and Vita, so I'll assume the other bugs apply to all versions, but there are two Switch exclusive bugs. One was a tree in Serenia that didn't cast a shadow that did in the PS4 and Vita versions. The other is if you start a session in portable mode and put it in docked mode while in-game, it will just upscale portable mode until you restart the game. This could be explained by the fact that the game's director Hiroka Chiba said in an interview that the Switch's resolution modes were trouble for the staff, and that they were on a limited time budget to get the Orochi engine ported just for the game. Anyway, with those out of the way, let's talk performance. In my time of playing the first 10 of 21 main chapters, the Switch provided a locked 30 FPS in both handheld and portable mode, even in the most GPU-taxing cutscene up until that point. The only hiccups were a quick stutter that popped up at the end of every battle, but I'm impressed with how it ran, honestly. The Vita, on the other hand, doesn't have it solo with performance. I mean, I didn't expect it to, if I'm gonna be honest. At a default 384p and stock speeds, CPU and GPU bottlenecks are seen across so much of the game, nothing is safe from frame rate drops. Even the simplest of cutscenes see the Vita barely struggle to pull numbers into the mid-20s. Even while walking around the overworld while strolling on a Mirage, the framerate still only reaches the high 20s. At its worst, albeit in a cutscene, the game falls down to just 8 frames. Really, 30 FPS outside of battles feels unattainable, and even inside battles, it's only guaranteed in the opening seconds of battle, with battles hovering in the mid to high 20s. On top of the additional stutters in battle when compared to the Switch version, and when dialogue boxes pop up while in the overworld, it's got too many problems to be enjoyable. Maxing the GPU and CPU speeds doesn't remedy performance much either. Outside of alpha effect heavy scenes, 384p and 544p actually stay pretty close to each other. There are a few cutscenes where they mashed performance, but roughly half of them in 544p turned out even worse than 384p at stock speeds. Considering that the game slows down when the framerate falls into the range of 15 to 20 FPS and lower, it makes it fairly bad at 384 at stock speeds, but it's even worse at 544. The lowest I've seen it go is 6 frames in a cutscene. Seeing it run poorly kinda makes you want to take the thing out back and, just put it out of its misery, and yours honestly. Cornelia hovers in the low 20s at both resolutions at max speeds, but exploration outside of the town stays at 27 frames per second or higher when not factoring stutters at 384p or 544p, with 384 hitting 30 FPS more often. In addition, combat is much more tolerable at max speeds. 384 can still drop into the high 20s, and 544 can still drop to 20 frames during a ranged channel element attack. It's plain and simple with the Vita that there's no way locked performance is going to be possible, due to CPU bottlenecks. It can be argued that the suboptimal performance can be excused because it's an RPG, and I guess that's true, but cutscenes are a huge part of RPG games. I couldn't recommend this version other than for curiosity's sake, or if you wanted the clear image free of post-processing effects that the version provides. The Switch version holds up really well to the PS4 version in docked mode, and even portable mode. While it's noticeably not the same, it's still not a bad choice to play the game on. And with that, we conclude our analysis. Thank you guys for watching and listening to this video. If you want more content, please be sure to unsubscribe and also hit the like button. And if you want more content from me, I mean, you can hit me up. I'm on Twitch. I do a lot more Twitch than YouTube, but I want to get started on YouTube more. It's kind of like an introductory back-in phase, you know what I'm saying? And be sure to follow both me and Inquisition on Twitter for updates about potentially uploading a video more than once per 3 months. I'll see you off, guys, and have a good one.